Well, good morning. Good morning. Good morning. I'm Jonathan Alexandre. As stated, I'm Senior Counsel for Governmental Affairs for Liberty Counsel. And I am here, and we are here to stand for truth, to stand for equal justice, and to stand for the First Amendment, and to stand in support of Lorie Smith and 303 Creative. Stand for her right to live freely. Stand for her right to work freely. Stand for her right to speak freely. And to stand for her right to create freely. We are here for you, Lorie. Sadly, we have to do this far too often. These instances of the abridgment of the freedom of the people have become more and more common. And at times it's by a gradual or a silent encroachment by those in power. But here with Lorie, it was a sudden siege, an order coming from Colorado saying that they could compel her speech. But that is wrong. You cannot compel her speech. You cannot compel her and force her to create and to emotively convey a presentation that runs contrary to her convictions and to her beliefs. That is wrong. You cannot handle Lorie. Whether it's through a small threatening action by calling her speech commercial conduct, or it's through a comprehensive takeover of her creative abilities. In any instance, government is wrong, whether it's contained or comprehensive, whether it's gradual or grand, whether they tell her that she should speak or tell her that she must remain silent. In any instance, government is wrong to co-opt a business or an organization's message in favor of the state's preferred viewpoint. Government is wrong. You can't handle Lorie. Free speech remains as one of the best causes that our country has ever known. We cherish the freedom of speech. With our speech, we can share, we can persuade, we can inspire. With our speech, we can create. Whether it's with a cake that is being baked, whether it is a song that is sung, or a flag that is being flown. Our viewpoints, our messages, and our speech can be expressed in many forms, including the creation of a website. That is what Lorie is doing here. She is creating freely, and her rights to do so ought to be protected and not abridged. This is true for Lorie. This is true for everyone. This is true for every American. Every American has the right to create freely, regardless of what government believes about their beliefs, regardless if government likes their belief. Every American has the right to create freely. Lorie does not lose her freedom of speech just because she is talented. Lorie does not lose her freedom of speech just because she is skillful. Lorie does not lose her freedom of speech just because she chose to make a living by being a creative. But it is those very three things. It is her talent. It is her skill. It is her being a creative. It's those very things that makes her not able to be constrained by government. You cannot handle Lorie. It's because of her talent. It's because of her skill. It's because of her creativity that make her not able to be constrained by government, because those gifts don't belong to government. Those gifts do not come from government. Those gifts came from her God, and they belong to her God. Her talent, her skill, her creativity belong to her God and not to government. Government, you can't handle Lorie. Government, where were you when she was working on her craft? Government, where were you when she was up at night pouring countless hours into her art? Government, where were you when she was making her graphic design ability stand out among the rest? Government, where were you when she channeled her passions and she channeled her emotions towards this goal? Government, where were you when she sought out to produce a product that would reflect her innermost convictions on traditional marriage? Government, where were you for any of that? Government, you weren't there for any of that. You weren't there as Lorie created. You weren't there as Lorie was convinced of her vocation and her calling. Government, you weren't there when her graphic designs became outworking of her faith. Government, you weren't there when she decided to labor and to use the creative work of her hands to be used to glorify the God who created her. Government, you weren't there when she heard the gospel of Jesus Christ and Jesus redeemed her. Government, you weren't there for any of that. since you weren't there for any of that, there is no law on the books. There is no commission in Colorado. There is no opinion from the court which will ever give government the right to compel her to speak in a manner that contradicts all of that. Government, you can't handle Lorie. Government, you did not give her her talent. You did not give her her skill. You did not create this creative. You don't have the right to micromanage Lorie. You don't have the right to control Lorie. You can't handle Lorie. So we stand with Lorie. We stand with 303 Creative. We stand so that this truth be known, that our beliefs are not up for compromise. Our faith in God's design for marriage is steadfast. Our commitment to respecting other viewpoints, but only speaking truth, is sure. And so our talents are not at the behest of any agenda other than God's. Our custom expression will only communicate this truth. Our vocation and our duty to work and to create, that's not up for concession. Yes, we will be respectful. Yes, we will be kind. But yes, we will be the salt and light in this world, even in the public marketplace. And our ability to love, but be firm in our convictions, that is unshakable, and it's here to stay. Lorie believes these truths to be sacred and undeniable, and so we stand with her.